Hello, thank you so much for coming back to watch this week's Monday Must-Have. So today I kind of have a twofer for you. I have the Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation and the Revolution Super Size Conceal and Define Full Coverage Concealer. So I'm going to be trying both of these out on my face. I'm going to do a wear test and see if this is worth the money. So if you'd like to see my little review and application and wear test, then please keep on watching. Just so you know, I do upload a daily video here on this channel all about budget beauty. So it can be makeup, skincare, fragrance. It really does depend on the day of the week. So make sure you do subscribe, hit that notification bell, bookmark the page. That way you can come back and watch whenever you would like to. I also do a live stream every Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'd love if you'd come and hang out and we can chat. So yeah, can't wait to see you there. Okay, so I did purchase both of these on Ulta's website. The foundation is a little less than a fluid ounce, I believe. So I did purchase both of these on Ulta's website. So the foundation, it is not a full fluid ounce. It is 0.8 fluid ounces. So it's a little under the standard 1 ounce of product. This is supposed to be full coverage. It's cruelty free. It comes in a ton of shades. I did pick this out online, so I don't know if it's going to be an exact match. It's just kind of the way it is. This does retail for $12. They were having a deal where if you bought the foundation, then you got a super size concealer for free. This does regularly retail for $10, so there we go. So yeah, this is supposed to be a full coverage, lightweight foundation, so we're gonna try it out. My skin is prepped, it is moisturized. I'm not gonna be doing primer. I just want to see how this will actually sit just on my skin by itself. As you can see, I'm not broken out or anything, but I do have a lot of discoloration from old acne marks and broken capillaries around my nose. It's just skin. That's a lot of time. That's what people have issues with. So I did pick up the shade. This is F6. Once again, it was kind of hard to pick a shade out online. If you've ever tried, you know the struggle. So it's a nice frosted glass bottle, rose gold hardware. It's really pretty, and it does come with like the big doe foot applicator. So I'll go ahead and get this blended out on half of the face. We'll just go with that. It does look like full coverage. It might be a tiny bit too light, but we'll see if it oxidizes. I don't think it's a bad shade match by any means. I do think it has really good coverage with just one layer. Still can see a little bit of discoloration, but you can definitely see the difference between no foundation and foundation. It looks really soft and kind of blurred out, which I'm kind of surprised with it. You know, I'm not wearing primer or anything, so I think it looks really nice. Okay, so like I said, I do have like moisturizer on underneath this, and it's not like super duper matte, which I'm totally okay with it. I think it looks really pretty. I think it almost looks skin-like. As you can see, this side it's a little bit more dewy, but this side still has a little bit of luminosity to it, and it feels a little bit tacky. Not bad though. It looks really nice. So far, I do like the foundation. It's not the most full coverage thing I've ever tried, but it's definitely nice. Definitely helped to even out the skin tone. Like, I'm totally fine with not concealing or building up any extra coverage on like my skin, so it looks nice. So the concealer, I did get it in C0.5. This was the lightest shade that they still had available. This is definitely going to be too light for me with the concealer. This is the super size, and you get 0.45 fluid ounces or 13 grams. This is supposed to be a full coverage, long-lasting concealer. This line does have a very large shade range, so From online, it looked like this was the lightest shade, and then it did look like it went pretty deep, so let's just start with that. Maybe the shade isn't too bad. I definitely feel like I would need a corrector just because my under eyes are really dark right now, but we'll try to build it up. Looks really smooth. I know that they have a hydrating foundation and a hydrating concealer, so you know, if you don't like more of a matte, then the hydrating might be a good choice for you. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and set. I'm just using the Coty Airspun. This doesn't extend the wear foundation or concealer, it just sets it, so I'm just gonna make sure both under eyes are as smooth as I can get them, and then we'll set. Hurry up and set. Okay, so I think my skin looks really, really nice. It looks really smooth. It looks really evened out. Now that the under eyes are set, there's no creasing or anything. So I am going to go throw on some more makeup, and I'll do a check-in after I have other makeup on and everything. But it's looking really nice. It's looking really smooth. It doesn't feel heavy. I mean, obviously I can tell I have foundation on, but for being such good coverage, it doesn't feel like I have a ton on my face. So it feels pretty lightweight. So we'll see how it's gonna act with combination skin and aging skin, you know what I mean? So I'll be back in a little bit for the first check-in. Hello, so I have had this foundation on for a little over 6 hours. I did put on some just basic makeup, but this is what it's looking like so far. I have to say I am pretty surprised. I think it's looking really, really good. I think my under eyes are looking good from the concealer, no creasing. My forehead is a little creasy, but that's pretty normal when it comes to foundation. It just kind of settles into my forehead lines, but I still think it's looking really smooth. Sean and I went out, we did a lot of walking, we rode the bus, and it was a little rainy and a little bit warmer, so I was a little bit sweaty because I had like the sweater on and then my coat, and yeah, it's been holding up really, really well. So yeah, around my nose is looking a little greasy, but it's still looking really, really good. Probably gonna wear this for at least another 4 or 5 hours, so it's gonna be a really good wear test, but so far, I'm really impressed with the Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation and Concealer. So I'll see you here in a little while for the last little check-in and see if my thoughts are still the same, if it's still holding up, or if it's changed a little bit. But yeah, I'll see you here in a minute. Hello, so it is a little bit past 11 o'clock at night. I've had this foundation and concealer on for over 12 hours. I'm looking a little greasy, which is pretty normal for me, but I want to show you how good this foundation and concealer held up with absolutely no primer, no touch-ups, no blotting, nothing. So, look at underneath my eyes. No creasing. I mean, really, really good. It looks amazing. Around my nose looks pretty greasy. I do feel like it's, what is the word? I feel like it's kind of started to separate a little bit, like on my nose. But everywhere else is looking really, really good. I feel like the coverage is still pretty much there. Like I said earlier, my forehead doesn't look the best. Definitely settled into my forehead wrinkles. I just need to cut bangs. That just is what needs to happen. But I mean, for having this foundation on for over 12 hours, it looks amazing. Like I said when I first applied this, I don't think it's the most full coverage foundation I've ever used or full coverage concealer, but for it being a high coverage foundation and concealer, it does look pretty natural, and I know that's kind of a oxymoron because higher coverage base products, they don't look natural, but for it being so high coverage, I think it does look pretty skin-like. Even now, I think it looks really, really nice. I feel like if I blotted or used powder, I actually have my powder brush here. Let's go ahead and do that. So here's my powder. I want to just see if I will go ahead and just apply a little bit of powder. Obviously, it's probably going to help mattify. Yeah, look at that. But I'm wondering if it will kind of just... Oh, yeah. Even applying the powder over it, it didn't make it look any more cakey. So I think if you do have like very oily skin, if you're blotting, if you do carry a compact with you, I totally think that you can definitely touch this up throughout the day. Because this, like I said, this foundation's been on for over 12 hours. At that point, natural oil, sweat, just environmental factors can really start breaking down makeup. But it looks really, really good. Price-wise, the foundation is $12. You don't get an ounce of product. But at the same time, I don't feel like most people would probably use as much foundation as I did. I did use one dip per side of my face. I think if you have nice skin that doesn't need a whole bunch of covering, or if you do use a concealer to help those more severe areas, I think you could get away with just one dip, you know, pulling the stick out and applying it. I really do like this foundation and concealer. The concealer really surprised me. Where there's like minimal to no creasing underneath the eyes, which surprised me a lot. I even put on some bronzer as eyeshadow today. Didn't use an eyeshadow primer, and usually when I use concealer, I usually have creasing or transferring. You know, my mascara stayed on. It's not waterproof. So yeah, I really do like both of these. The super size Conceal and Define concealer is $10. I don't think that's a bad price for it at all. The foundation being $12. That's expensive to me. That's getting up there to me. That's double digits, you know what I mean? You don't get an ounce, but the packaging's really nice. I do think it's a good foundation. I do think it's a Monday must-have, and I do think it's worth the money. So if you were wondering about this foundation, I do think it's a good foundation. I think if you have normal, combo, oily skin, I think you'd really love this. I think if you have dry skin, as long as you're doing a good prep, I think you'd be fine. I'm going to continue to use this. I'm going to try this with my Rimmel mattifying primer, because that really helped to fill in those forehead lines and really smooth everything out. I think it would be beautiful combined with this, but I really am impressed. I do think it's worth the money. I think it looks beautiful for it being on for over 12 hours. So, and then with that little bit of powder slapped on top, looks great. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed this in-depth wear test and try out of the Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Foundation and Concealer. Hope you enjoyed this little 2-for-1 video. If you did, please go and give the video a thumbs up and share it. Let me know down below in the comments, have you tried this line from Revolution, Makeup Revolution, whatever they rebranded? I would love to know what you thought of it down below in the comments. Don't forget, you're always welcome to follow me on my other social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. It's all at Budget Glam Babe. I also have another channel. It's called Gourmet on a Budget. It's all about budget food, and I upload on that one 7 days a week as well. Recipes, taste tests, stuff like that. So make sure that you do subscribe to that if you're interested. Don't go nowhere quite yet. Another video should start auto-playing here very shortly. or you can always click on one of the ones that'll be popping up around the screen. But yeah, I'll see you here in just a sec.